Hi, my name is Deirdre Chance, and this video is for my Journal 3 for Counseling 6324, Substance Abuse and Addictions. I am actually work part-time with my church with the ministry for women coming out of addictions, and we oversee a faith-based sober house. So after ideally we take residents who have completed inpatient treatment, and then we have the transitional housing that's connected to church community. And that's a big goal, is people in their recovery to connect them to healthy community. So I interviewed a new resident, and her DOC, drug of choice, is meth. The reason it's her preferred drug, she said she started when she was 15, and it's the only drug she ever did. So she feels kind of scared to try others. Meth feels familiar. Her parents were actually weed addicts, and she was embarrassed and ashamed about that. And so she has that intolerance for the smell of weed and for weed. The next question, what interaction effects had this person noticed when taking both drugs at the same time? So she actually doesn't have more than one drug that she takes. She said if she does drink, it's maybe only 3 times a year. Her dad was also an alcoholic as well as a weed addict. And she said she knows cross addiction is hard, and she's already addicted to one. She doesn't need to be trying another. And then the last assigned question, does this person have spiritual beliefs that assist in their recovery? And she said, yes, her faith is very important to her, that she knows God has been there through everything. He loves her regardless, like he's there the third, the fourth, he's there. He loves her unconditionally. And then we talked a little bit. She actually became a Christian. She said she never knew anything about God until her recovery. So Teen Challenge, which I think has national centers, but ours would be the Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge, is where she went through her first treatment. And that's where she learned about God and continues to use her faith in him to overcome. I had actually had some concerns with her and where she is in her addiction and recovery process. So I just started out asking her. She had missed a couple of appointments, and I just asked her where she is in her addiction and recovery. Is she white knuckling it? Is she, just trying to white knuckle it and then experiencing shame and guilt? Is she trying to hide things? She relapsed, and she did a 30-day inpatient treatment, and she said, she really wants to be sober, and she could have done outpatient. Her apartment was raided. She had 10 grams of meth, so she has charges coming up. She could have done outpatient, but she decided to put herself into 30-day treatment, which to take harder steps because she really wants sobriety. And now she's applying to our church's transitional housing because she wants sobriety. So she's not white knuckling it. She said she really wants to be sober. And even before her apartment got raided and she got into legal trouble, she wanted to be sober. And she sees how she has to really retrain her body and brain in order to overcome this addiction. I asked her, what does she want most from sobriety? Because she was talking about how much she does want to be sober. So I said, what are you hoping to get out of sobriety? And she said, she wants things from before. She wants her house. She wants to be back with her kids, but she had gotten in a rut before her relapse. And she really wants to enjoy life. She wants to make rich memories with the kids, to go on vacations, to take them on cruises. And so I asked the follow-up question, how would somebody know? How would she know that she is enjoying life? And she said her attitude would be different. She wouldn't be stressed or anxious. She'd be positive and upbeat. And then as we talked more, we just discussed the importance of thanking God every hour. I self-disclosed a little bit how I grew up in a very critical and negative home. And and that it's difficult for me to thank God, that it takes effort and intentionality. And she agreed with that sentiment and said that that resonated with her, and the importance of thanking God and gratitude. And gratitude is a characteristic that often helps people to overcome not only substance use disorder, but also anxiety, depression, and other mental health disorders. The next question that I asked her is if there is other important activities that can help improve her mood and minimize relapse. And she said that something that is very important to her is music. That she'll often, anytime she's driving, that's an intentional time that she just wants to listen to music. She can notice the visible effects that music has on her, and she finds it relaxing. She said that she has a specific playlist with the same 10 songs that she uses to really help improve her mood. And then the last question that I asked is, do you struggle with any unhealthy automatic thoughts or beliefs? And she was able to identify 2 unhealthy automatic thoughts that she struggles with. The first one is her body image. That can be a struggle for her. And the second one is that she doesn't like to disappoint people. So just using basic cognitive behavioral therapy, I asked her if she could replace those unhealthy automatic thoughts or beliefs with a healthier automatic thought. And so for the first one, that with her body image, the belief that she can replace the unhealthy one, the healthy belief that she can replace the unhealthy belief with, is that she's perfect, that she's been created perfectly, and just having more self-acceptance for herself. And then the second one, that she doesn't like to disappoint people. She struggled with being able to identify a healthier one. She asked me, like, what was your suggestion? So I self-disclosed how that's too much power to give other people to determine my happiness, that I can only be happy if somebody else disappoints me. And so my happiness is based on me being genuine and authentic. So then I asked her, like, could she think of a specific example where she doesn't like to disappoint people? And she said she really doesn't like to be late, especially with her sister or husband. She doesn't want to disappoint them. And so I asked her a few more questions if she could tell me more about that. And she thought it was tied to how she's disappointed them in the past in her addiction, and she doesn't want to disappoint them again. She doesn't want them not to trust her or to think that she's not sober. And so then I reflected back that it sounded like maybe that she saw her value and worth tied to their approval of her. And she said, yes, that resonated with her very much, and that she could replace it with her value is attached to what God says about her and not what other people say about her. And we talked a little bit too, that even when we're doing really well, our value doesn't change. Our value is always the same to God. And then I think I said the final question, but there was one more that we talked about, and it was actually attached more to what other activities can help improve her mood. And those activities include using addiction apps. So she's actually used the sobriety timeline And she said she's used it minimally and isn't really sure how positive or negative the effects are. It doesn't seem to hurt, but she doesn't know that it's really helping her improve. But one app, the Abide app, which really helps teach mindfulness, she said has been amazing. I asked her to scale it on a scale of 1 to 10, and she said, oh, it's just been amazing. And so mindfulness-based interventions have been found to be very helpful in overcoming substance use disorders, again, as well as other disorders like depression and anxiety and other mental health disorders like that. I will submit my references on the page in writing from where this information came. Thank you.